What's up, guys? We're here with Gigi.
We're here just at the airport waiting for our flight to take us to Dallas, Texas. We're headed to Kedusha, to Iglesia Rio de Vida over in Fort Worth, going to a youth camp. So we're just here waiting. But while we wait, I wanted to sit down with you guys and talk a little bit about what's been weighing heavy on my mind, about something that, the start of something new. This is a interesting journey. I don't know where to begin, but this is where God has been taking me. I think one of the main things that I want to really convey today is really understanding God's purpose. I mean, coming out of your comfort zone, coming out of that maybe stale or stagnant part in your life where you feel like things aren't moving and you feel like things are paused and you feel like things haven't been going the way that you've hoped for them to go. I'm here filming this, trying something new, getting something out of my comfort zone. And I think it's important to understand that there's going to be times where you don't want to do things and you don't want to step out of that comfort zone. And I think this is one of them for me. For many of you guys listening to this, just know that it's not going to be easy. There's going to be moments where you don't want to step out of that zone of comfort. When you do, then that's where you start to see the fruits that God wants to sow in your life. You're going to start seeing the fruits the promises that God wants placed in your life. When you step out of that zone of comfort and you decide, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust in your word. I'm going to trust that you have a purpose for this. And that's what I'm doing here. I want to read Luke 5:4-6. It says, when he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch. Simon answered, Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets. When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. And this verse really spoke to my heart as I was thinking about what to speak about and thinking about, what is the purpose of all of this? Understanding that here Simon was in a moment of stagnation, was in a moment of plateauing. He couldn't catch any fish. He couldn't catch anything at all. And he felt that, as much as they tried, as much as they put in the work, as much as they thought that things were gonna go their way, they weren't catching fish. And then when the Lord tells him, go deeper, go into deeper waters, get out of that zone of comfort, they begin to catch the fish that they've been looking for. They begin to catch the fish, the reason why they were there. They begin to see the fruits. They begin to see the results. This is what this is all about. Coming out of your comfort zone is understanding that it's not about trusting in the resources that are around you. It's not about trusting in your ability to catch fish, right? It's about trusting God. It's about trusting His word, about trusting His promise, and understanding that we don't have the control of everything. Simon didn't have control of the amount of fish that he was going to catch. Simon didn't have control of the quantity of fish that they were going to be able to catch, or the quality of fish even. But because he decided to trust, because he decided to follow and obey and get out of that zone of comfort and go into deeper waters. It's about leaving the zone that you're in and going into deeper waters and going into an area where you're not comfortable with, but understanding that you're with God, that you're with the Creator, the one that above all, the one that can provide. And I think that's the beautiful aspect about this, is that they stopped trusting in themselves. They stopped trusting in what they knew, and they went into something unknown. They went into something that they didn't understand, and they went deeper. And that's the beauty of this, understanding that going deeper, coming out of that comfort zone, coming out of what you understand, is saying no to what you do understand, and saying no to your ability, and saying no to your humanity, and saying yes to God, and saying yes and trusting that He can provide, and trusting that He's gonna make a way, trusting God, letting go of the known and holding Him by the hand into the unknown, trusting that He's gonna provide, trusting that you're not alone in whatever project, in whatever dream, whatever it is that God has placed in your heart. You're not alone. You trust God as you go deeper into those waters, as you go deeper out of that zone of comfort that you're currently in, and you trust in Him, you're going to see the results that you've been waiting for. You're going to see the results that were promised to you. Remember that God is a God of faithfulness. He's faithful even though sometimes we're not, even though sometimes we fail him, even though sometimes we don't show him the same amount of love that he's shown us. His promises remain faithful, and his word says that his word remains forever. And I think that's what God put in my heart to speak to you guys today, is his word remains forever. It's just a matter of time for us to trust him and leave that zone of comfort. So thank you guys for joining me on this first little mini episode. Don't know where this is heading, but we're just trusting that he's gonna provide a way. He's gonna provide the resources and the creativity to do what he wants. So thank you guys. Hope you guys like, subscribe, comment, leave your thoughts, whatever you guys think, and let's have a conversation.